especially heading into Bama.
Well, I think we got to continue to get better in the kicking game. I think so. Things that went well. I thought Marshall Morgan. I thought he kicked the ball well as far as the kickoffs. I thought they went. There was one that went right down the middle of the field, which is where we did not want that ball to go, but it was deep enough where it didn't get returned. But most of the balls were in the spot on the field where we asked him to. Most of them had hang time for us to cover. We only had one punt that I can remember anyway. That wasn't very memorable. A little bit of a high snap and not a very good punt, 24 yards or whatever it was. I mean, that's obviously we got to get better there. The kickoff return team, you know, this year it's been most everybody is doing something besides kicking it deep and allowing us to set up a deep return, getting an awful lot of blue kicks or sky kicks, whatever you want to call them. And, you know, so we just got to continue to be in position to handle all kicks that are not traditional kicks. Offensively, we've had our moments. We've done well. You know, we just will be challenged, obviously, by Alabama's defense. And then defensively, the same goes for that too. I mean, we know we got a great challenge ahead, and our focus is going to be to continue to try to improve. That's been it from the beginning of camp to every single week of practice. And that's what we feel like we need to focus on the most is making corrections and getting better at what we do.
Mark, what have you seen from the chemistry that seems to be building between Grayson Lambert and Malcolm Mitchell?
They have done well together, and you know, Malcolm is the #1 progression on a lot of the things we do, and he's come through. But like even a couple of those slants we hit, because it was a one high safety, it went over there. If it was two high safety, it'd have gone to the other side of the field. So it's not like we're throwing to Malcolm no matter what, but when it has been the right coverage and he's been the first progression, he's gotten open, and Grayson's done a pretty good job of putting it on him.
Mark, can you put a play that didn't count on the team's highlight reel?
Yeah, you can. I mean, we may show that. But, you know, we had 2 penalties. 2 costly, 5-yard penalties, that's not a lot. 2 penalties for 10 yards doesn't sound bad, right? But it erased the interception, right, on defense, and it erased that long touchdown pass. So, and that was the thing we really wanted to get better at and be more disciplined in regard to penalties. And it was an improvement statistically. 2 for 10 yards, you're like, hey, that's not too bad. What did it cost us? A long touchdown and an interception. And that interception in the first half might have, you know, created a little more separation in the first half where it wouldn't have been as dramatic. But I know we came back and scored a TD later, but sometimes you don't. And it did cost us.
How valuable was that last quarter and a half for the young guys, especially not having that against UL Monroe?
It was great. I think when guys get to play, it's really good for morale. Everybody works hard, everybody wants to play. And it's certainly good to gain experience because you just never know when you're going to get in the game. And sometimes it's gaining experience in case somebody gets hurt or something happens to a starter. Sometimes you get in there and play so good the coach is like, I got to get this guy more reps. And that's what you try to prove when you get in a game like that.
How much has Malcolm Parrish improved? He gets the block and then he tackles that receiver for a 2-yard loss on that second possession, I guess.
Right. Malcolm's he's a very good football player. He's become a very reliable guy. We have a good trust factor with him. He takes care of business. Even we had a block right and a block left, but we didn't really like the block right because we liked the block left better. 14. We wanted to be to his side because we thought that he'd get there. Number 1. And number 2, if he got there late, he wasn't going to rough the kicker or something like that. Because when you go blocking kicks, it's great when you get them, but if you do it wrong and you slam into the punter, then you give him another possession. That's the worst thing that can happen. Because at the end of a punt, you want the ball. Even if you just let it roll and you get the possession of the ball, that's the most important thing after you force it. So in the punt, so if you force him to punt and then you rough the kicker, it's horrible. And that's why in practice, you have to show us that you know how to block a punt and not run into the punter. And that's what Malcolm has proved over time. That's why we wanted him to be the guy.
Does tying Wally Butt's record for second all-time in wins here have any significance for you?
Well, I mean, it's awesome. Just to think that I've been here 15 seasons and we've had that many victories as a unit. I mean, it's certainly, it's an honor to be on the same page with Coach Butts. The thing I like about Coach Butts' legacy, though, not so much the wins, but you know, Wally's boys and the people that loved him, and the people that still gather and meet in his honor on a yearly basis, at least a yearly basis. They've got newsletters and all that kind of thing. They all keep up with each other. And that's the beauty of college football, the camaraderie that lasts a lifetime. And so just to be near his name and the records, that's pretty neat.
Mark, there's obviously going to be a lot of hype leading to the Alabama game from fans and media. How important is it to your team to sort of not get sucked in by that?
Yeah, that's the very thing I said to the team after the game is, first of all, we got a 3-game stretch coming here. It's very important in league play, and I said that very thing. I said, you know, the media's going to want to talk about the game, and the fans are, and which is great. I mean, we've created enough momentum for people to get excited about a game, but you know, we have to be very focused on what's going on at the Butts Mirror building. We got to be focused on what's happening in the classroom and at the Rankin Smith Center, our academic center. Those are the places we just got to be concerned with. All the other stuff it's not healthy to get in the middle of it. You focus on your job, and you focus on getting better, and you focus on your schoolwork and what your coaches say and what your teammates say.